just to put a bow on the hypothesis, is that you apply this current and you can basically learn in an accelerated fashion. And what you experienced was the marksmanship. You were able to go through a training protocol where you were firing basically a how would you describe it?
It was a modified like CO2 cartridge on I think an M4. Right. So I was doing like proper marksmanship. I was in this sort of immersive game that simulation. Exactly. It was basically a simulation. And so I had been, when I first got there, they told me that I would have a little bit of training and then I would go through it without having any stimulation, and then they wouldn't tell me when they turned it on. So I felt like I must have spent like an hour or two learning marksmanship, and then they put me into this with like tin targets and things like that, and then they put me into this simulation where I was being sort of attacked at a military checkpoint, and there were lots of people like running at me. It was sort of standard video game fare, like first person shooter fare. So I was trying to pick everybody off, and I got blown up every single time. I never made it out of there ever. And I was getting really frustrated. I was tired. I had come from London to California, and I was just like, all right, this is a bust. Like, let me just go home. And then he turned on the electricity, and like, it was actually, it was a really strange experience because all of a sudden, all the sort of hectoring and shouting in my head where I was just like, oh, like, I need to, like mental time travel that you do when you're uncomfortable, and then like the sort of self-recrimination when you're like, oh God, this is gonna be a really bad story. And then all of that just went like away, and it was completely silent. I was just able to suddenly prioritize in a way that I hadn't at all been able to. And I finished the game very quickly, and I was waiting for like a second level or something like that. I was like, oh, I killed the level. And very quickly. And then the lady came in and she turned on the lights. And I said, well, is something wrong? Because I thought, well, like 3 minutes have passed. And she said, no, you're done. And I was like, well, why did you end it early? And she's just like, and I said, it's been like 3 minutes. And she said, no, it's been 20 minutes. So, and I looked at the clock because I didn't believe her. And then I thought somebody had messed with the clock. That's how much it messed with my sense of time. And then I thought, it was just so strange. And then the feeling actually stayed with me, that sort of profound calm for the next 3 days. Like it sort of glided out very smoothly.